Okay.
If you go on action from the stairs, so we overlap that last bit of action. Okay, and action. I think you were slightly early, too.
You're all watching quietly, otherwise you won't know what's going on.
You know, the kind of films that I like sort of Raiders of the Lost Ark type of movies, but of course I don't get offered those. And this was a kind of, it was like a kind of kid's adventure, but it wasn't. It was for kind of adults, you know, because a lot of it is, it's just kind of, it's like philosophical. There's a conjunction of almost all the planets in this sign next to me. I mean, you know, he's basically a good man. It's just that he's ambitious, and he's sort of bitten off more than he can chew, really. I think probably when he joined this outfit, he didn't realize quite how ruthless and how evil they were. And at the beginning of the movie, he's understanding, like, the deep implications of what he's done.
Action! Oh, hold on, Sam. I want to wait till I see Sam's frame. There's no ground in it, no.
British films tend to be, well, they fall into a few categories, don't they? It's the costume, you know, the stalwart, the costume drama, the gangster film, which has become a recent stalwart, the you know, coal miner's daughters, or coal miner's son who strips or is a ballerina or whatever, and that kind of comedy. So here we're trying to create something different, which is to have a film that in some ways, you know, harks back to an older tradition of maybe some of the bigger British thrillers or horror or whatever. We were trying to think big and with a well thought out story to bring more than you might have seen before to the British commercial kind of film.
Sancta Virgo, Sancta Virgo,
in the sort of the end of the 60s, when I started being introduced to those kind of things, then at a certain point I realized they were all about the same thing. And in fact, you know, the alchemy, the thing that most people understand about alchemy is like turning lead into gold. And people, you know, spent the years trying to turn lead into gold. But the truth of that is that it was a kind of an inner transmutation. In other words, it was possible to turn, you know, starting with one's basest thoughts and emotions, it was possible to transmute those into a kind of wonderful state of grace, state of sort of peace. What I'm intrigued by was, you know, what the experience of working with Steven Soderbergh did for me as a performer. It was incredibly reassuring, you know, after having, you know, worked with in a lot of indifferent projects, you know, to be taken up by a great young genius like Steven Soderbergh, who had written this thing with me in mind, you know. That did an amazing, that did a lot for me internally, yeah. For an actor who, you know, always wanted a long career, the crucial thing is to keep is to keep sort of reinventing yourself, you know, to keep finding new things, and basically that's what I'm looking to do, you know, as earning a few bob as well if I can. There's a conjunction of all the major planets in her sign next May. It hasn't happened for at least 1,000 years. I guessed you'd be under the night sky.